What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Jedi Jive. My name is Mike. Got another Secret Invasion reaction coming at you. Joining us again is my sister Jenny.
Hey guys.
Episode 4. Actually,
Yeah.
we just mentioned that this is the shortest episode so far, right?
Yeah.
It was like 38 minutes, you said?
Yeah.
So we've had a couple that were like in the 55-minute range, and then 45 minutes, and now 38
So we're
minutes.
going down.
I do like the variety, though, because none of the episodes... Like, last week's episode was 10 minutes shorter, but it didn't feel shorter.
No, I feel like they packed the same amount of story into last week's episode, and there were some big reveals last week.
Yeah, so far they're doing that really well with the story in this. Yeah, so you and I had a sort of a brief discussion. We didn't go crazy into depth. We like to talk more at the end of the video.
Yeah.
But there was a little bit of somebody had mentioned, are we even sure Gaia is really dead? He shot her once, didn't check her body. Like, he had healed using extremis or whatever it was. When he got his hand stabbed. So it's like, oh, maybe Gaia got super scrolled. But I think it's so, like you mentioned so far in this show, like unceremonious deaths. They're not shying away from like Maria Hill, just knowing her for a decade. Bam, she's off the map like that.
It's like Game of Thrones. No one is safe.
And Fury, as I was saying, has been getting dogpiled like shame from everyone. Even his own wife is acting kind of sketchy and like making calls and
to Gravik allegedly, which is.
And
troublesome.
Now, Rhodey, who fired Nick Fury,
is on the other side of that call potentially.
His wife is that we hear Rhodey's voice, so now we're thinking, is this a Skrull pretending to be Rhodey? Was that even Rhodey that fired him in the first place?
Was it really Rhodey that fired him?
The
I
implications
think it was
of
because that scene was so heavy. I mean, the emotional impact of that scene was so heavy that it would really pull the wind out of the sails if that wasn't really Rhodey. But is that really him on the other side of the phone? We have no idea.
We have to wait and see. I think ultimately, what I was saying was, in a lot of these Marvel situations, these are superhero movies and shows. These superheroes have specific like character morphs where they like turn into their superpower or like use their superpower. Like Nick Fury is a human, doesn't have any superpowers. That his like superpower is like being Nick Fury, having networking and connections and strategic knowledge about various different things. Like, he's the only human being other than a couple other humans that like know about the Skrulls to begin with.
Yeah.
So like the information that he has is potentially insanely powerful. And everybody's gonna, even though everybody's kind of like dogpiling on him and being like, you're useless, now everybody's gonna be coming to him for information. And
what I find interesting is that his superpower is kind of being, I said before, he's kind of the person who takes no shit from literally anybody in the universe. Yeah. And in this show, he's taking shit from everybody. Left and right. Everyone's giving him shit.
Yeah, best friends and colleagues and everybody's
spouses.
Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see what happens, guys. We don't want to do too much speculation. Let's jump in, have some fun. We'll talk about the episode afterwards. Let's do it. Okay, so flashback. Already.
Extremis, yeah.
Wow, okay, so this
morphed herself. She gave herself Extremis.
Or she super Skrull ability in general.
Well, it said Extremis right on the screen.
Oh, yep. Wow, okay, so they were right.
All the people online were right. She's not really dead.
Okay, so that technically kind of makes it so that she's the only person that could fight Gravik now.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of a silly theory, but apparently not.
Always ready to be proven wrong. In this case, pleasantly so.
Is it Iron Man 2? Iron Man 2.
Which was nobody's favorite movie, but that's the one where like Guy Pearce
But it was very much like you're like 50-50 with Extremis. Like, you can try to put it in you, but it might kill you.
Yeah. Guy Pearce was like all wacky.
Is that still the thing where it's like, did Gravik and Gaia just like take a 50-50 shot at killing themselves to get powers? Okay.
Paris 2012.
And did you get what you wanted from this life? Even so.
I did.
And what did you want?
To call myself beloved.
It's the title of the episode. Is that Rhodey?
Yep.
Yep.
Fury was fired a couple of days ago.
Fired? How'd that happen?
President Ritson doesn't find out that the suns come up unless I brief him, I fired Fury.
Okay.
I DDT'd that dude from the top rope. It was like Undertaker level.
One of the two occupants of that lovely country manor of yours is catching a bullet today.
He can flip a coin for all I care.
He'll be dead from exhaustion and defeat soon enough. We don't need to kill him.
That's got to be rough for him to hear. Priscilla.
Okay, so now it makes sense. It was a little bit confusing at first when he was like, I fired Fury. Like, it's like, yeah, no, okay, it was a Skrull.
She's the mole. I've already taken care of her.
You know,
So you thought...
We want him to think it's the Russians. Make it big, loud, like the Russians would.
Listen, I am so sorry.
And I don't need your sorrow or your pity for anything I did of my own free will. The only thing that I need from you is a plan. What is your plan for finding our people a home? Because Gravik has already implemented his, and it works.
We take down the insurgency. You, me, Fury. Once that's done, we go to the president and we tell him, guess what? Just saved your planet. Now, give me a little something in return, and we'll wait and see what can happen next.
That sounds overly optimistic.
That I can secure an amnesty for the 1 million of us to remain.
Yeah, I don't think you can bribe the
Don't you
president.
want to live in your own skin?
We just keep contributing. Show them our hearts. They will see us.
I don't know. We don't have the greatest track record on goodwill towards others.
And that is not who I've become.
Gaia. Gaia!
The concept of having like different masks on the wall. Like, who are you really? Which face is your real face?
What was that she picked up? Yeah, the masks. Good call.
I lost all my reason to be your husband. I ignored every signal in my head, heart, and body that screamed, stop! Even now, as I sit here knowing you plan to kill me with that pistol of yours, I don't know that if I had a chance to do it over again, that I'd do anything different.
Is he gonna have to kill his own wife?
Damn.
And did you get what you wanted from this life?
Mm.
Even so?
Long
There's the
memory
poem.
there.
I did.
What did you want?
Fuck, dude, he's gonna have to kill her.
To call myself beloved, beloved on the earth.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not sure if this means we should get divorced. We should renew our vows.
They couldn't shoot each other. That's funny.
Would you have loved me if I'd never changed? If I'd been my true self?
Wow.
Guess we'll never know.
Oof. Yep.
It's a woman
It's
too.
a female Skrull.
That's what's. It's definitely not Rhodey.
Figured we could settle our beef like, proper gentlemen.
Should I be worried about poison?
Poison? Oh, what the nanotrackers? There are Skrulls inside the U.S. government.
Skrulls in my security detail, Skrulls in the U.S. government. They're just Skrulls
I have
everywhere.
it on excellent authority. All you got to do to keep my mouth shut about all this, give me my job back.
Fence. No, Your Honor, that's not me. That's a 6 foot tall, bald, black, one-eyed extraterrestrial. I tell you what, why don't you hobble your ancient ass on out of here before I have you defenestrated?
Defenestrated. Good word. Liquid location tracker.
So the literal whiskey had location tracking
trackers
in
it.
Nanotech.
He said nanotech, but
he wasn't kidding.
Colonel, can I ask you something?
Absolutely anything, sir.
Did you pre-game for our bilateral with the Russians or a half bottle of bourbon?
I'm not sure I understand the question, sir.
Let's make sure the Colonel here has a large coffee for the road.
So this begs the question, where's the real Rhodey? Is he hooked up to one of those brain diggy machines that the Skrulls have somewhere?
Yeah.
Hit the door.
Okay. We're gonna attack a presidential motorcade.
And make it look like the Russians ambushed them.
Yikes.
Big fireworks.
Oh, shit,
wow.
Dude.
Ooh.
Bro! Let's go!
Booyah!
Fury's here!
That got his attention.
Yeah. Oh, there's Groot.
Groot powers.
And you can't shoot him.
Because he's got extremis.
So Gaia is the only one that can face him.
Take care of Talos! Now!
He's a bloody alien! He's trying to get to Richard!
No! Hold your fire! He's with me!
Yeah!
Cool makeup with the like half
and half yeah.
transition.
Yeah.
Talos, hang in there. I'll be back for you.
Put him in my car.
I got my own ride. Put him down.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Skravik again.
Yeah. More unceremonious deaths, man. He doesn't have extremis. Oh, Terminator 2 style.
Oh, yes!
Nice. Terminator 2. He even had glowing eyes from extremis.
But how do you kill him?
Yeah, that reminded me so much of blowing a hole in T-1000.
Yeah, for sure.
And he heals right up.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah. Although, I guess now there's a Skrull body amidst the president and his men. Or the president's going with Fury now. So yeah, I mean, I'm guessing that like now that there's this dead Skrull, that like the U.S. government will be like, oh shit, there are aliens.
Yeah.
Right?
You'd think, but
isn't like the. I know it was a Skrull pretending to be Rhodey. That was
right.
like, don't stop saying this.
I feel like that kind of takes the wind out of the sails of that like intense conversation they had when he fired Fury. You know, the fact that was a Skrull all along. It sort of, I don't know, it deflates that scene a little bit for me. But it does make sense in context that that's a Skrull. I don't know. I mean, is it now that the government's going to know that there are Skrulls, or is the Rhodey Skrull going to cover it up somehow, or you know, because
well, I don't know. The president was like, "Yo, are you like?" He's like, "Yo, have you been drinking or whatever?" He basically was like, "Maybe that's just extremely out of character for Rhodey or something," which was very. And then Rhodey was all like, "Get me a mint." So it's like maybe even the president caught on a little bit.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. Or now that there's a dead Skrull and it's going to be a little bit more common knowledge amongst the U.S. government and the president that Skrulls are a thing that exists and they can transform into other people. And like, oh yeah, and by the way, Gravik has now extremis and we know he can do Groot.
Yeah, and
can turn into
who
Groot.
knows what else he can do.
So that was basically like we had talked about Super Skrulls and how the comic version, which we're assuming they're obviously not completely faithful to it already, but it was Fantastic Four and that Mr. Fantastic stretch ability is essentially the same thing as Groot.
Yeah.
So yeah, that fits.
Well, I think what they did in
and Extremis is like
here
Human
is
Torch.
they chose to use abilities and characters that we already know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you look,
but that are also similar to the corresponding ones in the comics.
Right, but they chose to. They haven't brought the Fantastic Four into this universe yet, so they chose to use abilities from characters who have been introduced already.
Yeah. So the other ones would be like invisibility from Invisible Woman and the Thing, like super strength.
It might not be literal, like 1-to-1, but they've obviously given it some thought. Like, what
it did just seem like it was because I don't know, like Gaia was like like petting the forehead of that like dude before she hopped in the machine. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of like, is it like a one machine that just sort of like gives you the same powers, or is it kind of like you can like you said it said Extremis on the monitor,
the screen?
So it's
like
you're like, oh, I'm uploading this power like Matrix style.
Right,
like,
right.
I want to learn Kung Fu now. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Is that what you did?
Basically? I don't know.
And they have matching powers because the whole thing, I was like, basically, this just makes it so that like Gaia is the only person that can face off against.
Right, because
Gravik
she has healing powers.
She'll have matching powers.
But then, I mean, even in that face off, how do you kill him if he's magically able to heal himself? You know.
Well, I mean, how did they kill what's his face from Iron Man 2?
Yeah.
And all those, it was basically just like as long as you can explode them.
Killian, what's his face?
You can't really survive an explosion when your body blows apart.
Yeah, I guess.
I guess it's basically they overheated him, right? Or he like I can't remember. Anyway, there was a way to kill him. There's always a way to kill these fuckers. Yeah, you know that one scene between Fury and I guess they said her name is Priscilla.
Yeah.
And for a second there, they convince you that Fury had to shoot her in order to save his own life, and it was very heavy.
And then they come back on her, so you're like, did she shoot him?
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, they couldn't shoot each other.
So that was nice because obviously, like, everybody's been dogpiling on Fury, and we thought that she was untrustworthy, and like, obviously, like to some degree, she was, but then also, like, she promised to never hurt him, and she kept her promise. She actually does love him.
Yeah,
their love is real. And even he was like, I'm not sure, knowing all of this, knowing that you're about to try to kill me, that I would even do it differently. So even he's like, yeah, like,
I love you.
Even knowing you might kill me right now, I still love you. Yeah, so it was that was a nice scene.
That was a beautifully acted scene as well.
Yeah.
That, like, monologue she had, that was, like, a lovely scene.
But honestly, also there was that, it kind of ended with, like, even though, like, you can establish that their love is genuine, they can't really, that's it for them. Like, they can't really be together because she's a Skrull, and this is, like, it's just...
Yeah.
Basically, he implied, like, I guess we'll never know, like, this isn't, you know...
Yeah. Well, she asked the question, this is relevant because, you know, how Gaia said to her father, don't you want to live in your own skin?
Yeah.
And she basically said, would you still love me if I was wearing my own skin? And he said, he didn't answer.
He didn't answer, yeah.
And then he said, I guess we'll never know. So that's the question, isn't it?
Yeah. Did he
can
love
we
Dr.
ever
Priscilla,
truly get
what's her
along?
name?
Yeah. Did he love Dr. Priscilla Davis or did he love whatever her real name is?
Yeah, and that in the context of, like I had mentioned, oh look, they're blatantly showing these masks on the wall to like show the like shifting identity of everybody. The like, which mask are you wearing? Who are you? Which is the and it had that symbolism in it, and they made sure to like keep it in the frame in the background when it was her. So yeah, there is that ongoing theme of like who's trustworthy, who's on whose side, who do you know?
Right. Meanwhile, Gravik has now succeeded in, you know, potentially starting World War III.
Yeah.
He's convinced the U.S. government that the Russians just ambushed them unprovoked and tried to assassinate the U.S. president.
Yep.
So...
Although now they have seen...
that there's an alien around.
At the very least, yeah, but they also saw that the alien, like, saved the president.
Right.
So that, like, oh, at least that Skrull has an interest in fighting with... You know, he's not trying to kill the president. He's trying to save him.
Yeah.
Messy.
But dude, more unceremonious death of, like, characters we care about.
Yeah. And I think this, because Gaia, it was like, bam, you're dead. And we were like, wow, that was so unceremonious. But then clearly that theory turned out to be true. That it was like, nope, she's Extremis. Just kidding.
Alive,
that means that this Talos death is very much the opposite.
Real.
That's a
yeah. You don't get two freebies.
Yeah, we're not gonna get. Oh yeah, he upped an Extremis.
You get one freebie, not two.
Yeah. So that, I mean, that's unfortunate. Ben Mendelsohn's great. Yeah.
I know, I'm sad to see him go.
It's unfortunate. But I think that does bring it back to what we were saying before with Gaia being the bridge. Now, okay, well now at least that's gonna be she is still the key. Like we thought she was gonna be.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, her last moment with her dad was not a good one. He kind of like
left on a bit of a
with him being like Gaia,
bitter note. Yeah,
and
bit
her,
of a
like,
bitter
not turning
note.
over- yeah, so that's unfortunate. Yeah, guys, this is it continues to be a heavy show that is not. It's nothing about like there's a couple little giggly moments here and there, but it's not Marvel humor as you are normally used to it in terms of like how.
No, they're tackling like real story with real stakes and real characters.
Yeah, and Fury, like obviously Samuel L. Jackson can do his thing and like give Fury that Fury charm and like say those sort of one funny little lines that he'll throw a pun in there or he'll say something.
Or even sort of the way he was delivering his lines during that hotel scene with Rhodey, where everything was like deliberately overacted. Like, they both were sort of
speaking between the lines.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. They both were speaking between the lines, and
which
it was
Fury
very
does a
clear.
lot of, where he's just like speaking very clearly, but also not very clearly. Yeah. I also thought it was telling that they showed when they were like Fury's here, and then it showed Gravik like look concerned for a second.
Yeah,
that was significant because it showed Gravik. Oh wait, he actually does fear.
Still
Fury.
has some juice, and
that like as much as everybody wants to say he's vapor, like he's still
there.
Nick
he's
Fury
still showing up.
So showing Gravik be like, oh crap, Fury that's significant because Gravik hasn't shown any concern for anything thus far.
Yeah.
In fact, he's been quite the opposite. He's been quite
very
fearless
cool
and can have a knife shoved into his hand and just be like, whatever. And then hey man, crazy. Loving the show so far. There's only 2 episodes left. This was a short episode. It does leave you feeling like, wow, these last 2 episodes are going to be crazy.
Yeah, very fast paced, and you got to pack a lot into 2 more episodes.
Yeah, and I don't think this is a multi-season scenario, right? They'll be able to kind of.
I doubt it.
Tell a story that, I mean, Talos is dead. Well, you know what? We're just gonna have to wait and see. We could do all the speculation you want, but honestly, like the show's been great so far, and I'm enjoying the heady aspect of it. It's sometimes I don't know if you remember when we were watching Loki, and they started introducing all of like multiverse and like different variants of characters, and we started having that like, I feel like I'm gonna have to start like. My brain has to do some extra work here to like remember who's who and what's going, and like there's a little bit of that energy going on right now with the like being unsure of who's who and who's a Skrull and who's loyal to who, and is our Fury and his wife gonna shoot each other in the face? Like no, like there's and really so much uncertainty.
Yeah,
like it's just like you're just searching for something solid to hold on to.
Which is a good metaphor for sort of what's going on in the show.
The Skrulls looking for a home planet, looking for something to literally like plant their feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and right now there's just that overwhelming sense of like, where is everything going? What's happening? And that's been slowly building throughout the course of these episodes. And you'd think that these last 2, I have high hopes.
I do as well.
Guys, I'm excited to hear what you thought about this episode in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you want to see reactions fully unedited, head over to patreon.com/JediJive. That's where we put them up. We will see you in the next reaction.
Peace.